There comes a moment in everyone's life when, amidst the relentless noise and chaos of everyday demands, the ceaseless pressure to perform and conform, you suddenly find yourself still, really still, enough to hear a quiet, compelling voice from deep inside. This voice is unlike the usual clamor of your mind or the chatter of external expectations. It is a subtle, tender whisper from your soul, gently calling you back to something you may have forgotten, or perhaps never truly recognized: the profound longing to live a life that feels authentically your own. A life that resonates deeply with your true self rather than merely reflecting the desires and demands of others. This whisper is not a passing fancy or a fleeting daydream. It is the essence of who you are, waiting patiently beneath the surface, urging you to remember that true happiness and fulfillment come not from what you do for others or what you accumulate, but from what stirs your heart and enlivens your spirit. For many, this call is drowned out by the constant distractions of modern life. The endless to-do lists, the pressures of work and family, the relentless pursuit of success as defined by societal norms. Yet, when you finally lean in and listen, you discover that the soul's happiness is a powerful, magnetic force that cannot be ignored forever. It invites you to embark on a journey, not away from your responsibilities or loved ones, but toward a fuller, richer experience of life that honors your deepest passions, values, and unique gifts. This is the invitation to do what makes your soul truly happy, a call to awaken from autopilot and begin living with intention, courage, and heart. It is a transformative turning point, filled with both challenge and immense possibility, promising a life that feels vibrant, meaningful, and joy-filled at its core. This moment of awakening opens the door to a new way of being, one where your authentic self is not hidden or suppressed, but celebrated and expressed freely, where each choice you make aligns with the truth of your spirit and brings you closer to a lasting sense of peace and joy. Answering this call sets you on a path that will reshape your entire experience of life, allowing you to live fully, deeply, and joyously from the inside out. Choosing to do what makes your soul truly happy is far more than simply chasing pleasures or whims. It is a profound and ongoing commitment to self-discovery, authenticity, and healing that requires courage, patience, and deep honesty. This journey begins with a willingness to look inward and confront the many layers of conditioning, fear, and self-doubt that may have led you to ignore or silence your inner voice for years. Perhaps you have spent much of your life trying to fit into roles that were expected of you, whether as a provider, a caretaker, a high achiever, or something else entirely, often at the expense of your own happiness and well-being. Maybe you've sacrificed your dreams, passions, and even your health to meet the demands of others or to conform to societal standards of success. These sacrifices, though often made out of love or duty, can create a subtle but persistent feeling of emptiness or restlessness, a quiet hunger for something more meaningful and aligned with your true nature. Doing what makes your soul happy calls you to gently but firmly peel back these layers and ask yourself essential questions. What do I truly love? What brings me joy? When do I feel most alive and at peace? Am I living according to my own truth? Or am I still trapped in expectations that aren't mine? These questions may stir up fear, grief, or resistance because they challenge the familiar patterns and safety nets you've known all your life. Yet, within these questions lies the power to transform, to reconnect with the deepest parts of yourself and reclaim your innate right to happiness and fulfillment. This is not a quick fix or a one-time decision. It is an ongoing, sometimes messy process of learning to trust your intuition, honoring your feelings, and making choices that nourish your soul even when they seem difficult or unconventional. It means learning to say no to what drains you, whether that is toxic relationships, unfulfilling work, or destructive habits, and yes to what energizes and inspires you, even if that means stepping into the unknown. Along the way, you may find yourself redefining what success looks like, shifting your focus from external achievements to inner peace, joy, and authenticity. You begin to understand that happiness is not something to be earned or granted by others. It is your birthright, a state of being that arises when your outer life reflects your inner truth. This alignment infuses every aspect of your life with new meaning and vitality, deepening your connections, enhancing your creativity, and filling your days with a quiet but profound joy that sustains you through life's inevitable challenges. As you commit to this path, you will discover a wellspring of resilience and strength within yourself, rooted not in external validation but in the unshakable foundation of self-love and authenticity. This journey ultimately leads you to a life that is uniquely yours, a life that feels vibrant, meaningful, and deeply satisfying because it honors your soul's true desires. Living in alignment with your soul's happiness also invites you to challenge and redefine the cultural narratives about success, worth, and fulfillment that have shaped your beliefs and choices. Society often equates a meaningful life with achievements like career status, financial wealth, or social recognition, pushing us to constantly prove our value through productivity and external markers of success. However, when you start to listen to your soul's whisper, you begin to realize that these external measures are limited and can often lead to burnout, anxiety, and disconnection from yourself. True happiness comes from cultivating a rich inner life and nurturing relationships, experiences, and practices that resonate with your deepest values and passions. This might mean slowing down in a fast-paced world, making space for rest and reflection, or pursuing creative and spiritual interests that don't necessarily bring immediate, tangible rewards, but feed your heart and mind. It involves embracing imperfection and uncertainty as natural parts of the journey, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and authentic without the need for perfection or constant approval. This process helps you to shed the burden of comparison and competition, and instead celebrate your unique path and gifts, recognizing that what makes your soul happy may look very different from what fulfills someone else. As you deepen this connection with your true self, you cultivate greater compassion and empathy, understanding that everyone is navigating their own journey toward happiness and fulfillment. Living authentically empowers you to face life's challenges with courage and grace, because your foundation is not dependent on changing circumstances, but anchored in the truth of who you are. This alignment transforms your everyday experiences, turning mundane moments into opportunities for growth, connection, and joy. It expands your capacity for love and creativity, enriching your life and the lives of those around you. In doing so, you become a source of light and inspiration in a world often weighed down by conformity and distraction, demonstrating through your example that it is possible to live a life filled with meaning, freedom, and soulful happiness. As you carry this message forward, remember that doing what makes your soul truly happy is not a distant goal to be achieved one day, but a living, breathing process that unfolds with every choice you make, every moment you decide to listen to your heart and honor your truth. It is about cultivating presence, self-compassion, and courage to face your fears and doubts, and to say yes to what nourishes your spirit with enthusiasm and joy. This practice allows you to rest when you need to, set healthy boundaries without guilt, and embrace life with an open heart even amidst uncertainty. Your soul's happiness is the foundation of a life well lived, the source of resilience, creativity, love, and peace, and nurturing it is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and the world. By choosing this path, you become a beacon of authenticity and hope, inspiring others to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery and joy. You demonstrate that breaking free from limiting patterns and living fully according to your own truth is not only possible but deeply rewarding. So do not wait for permission, perfect timing, or external approval, Begin now by trusting your inner wisdom, listening deeply to your soul's whisper, and taking brave, imperfect steps toward the life you were always meant to live. Because at its core, this journey is the greatest adventure you can undertake, a journey that leads you home to yourself, to a life overflowing with meaning, freedom, and the radiant happiness that comes from living in harmony with your soul.